Hello everybody, Protofoxy here coming back at you with another video. And first and foremost, I've got another stand I'm trying, so you'll have to excuse if it's as I'm trying to get angles together and all of that and trying to get things situated. I got a different stand now for specifically for deck techs and pack openings and all that stuff, so it's hands-free, as you can see. So as we get it right, or attempt to get it right as we go here. You'll have to excuse. So you're going to see some shifting a little bit here and there, but not a lot of bounciness this time. With me, usually with me as always as my camera stand as I've done like pack openings and such like that, was my son. Going to give his poor arms a break here as we get into doing this. Now this is actually going to be a little bit of a different video here. You see some decks in front of you here, and I gotta give a shout out to the Pauper Guild, and you actually see the playmat that these decks are on. This is my new playmat from the Pauper Guild. I will drop a link in the description below so you can get some sweet Pauper Guild swag. And this is my second one from there. And I really like this one. This is the other one that I like all the artwork that the Pauper Guild has together for the playmats, but I got my two favorites right now. Anywho, enough of that. Like I said, links will be in the description below, and you can get you some sweet Pauper Guild swag. But I have some decks in front of us here, and this is going to be a bit more interactive with my friends here, and I'm going to drop polls and videos and Twitter and stuff like that. I'm building a Pauper Battle Box, and now the premise behind it is, and I actually got this from Pauper B in the Pauper Guild. This is his idea, and he's building one himself, but I believe he's actually putting all his decks in there. I couldn't tell you. I believe that's how it's working, or at least he's doing 20. He's doing a really big one. But what a battle box is, or at least the way I understand it, and anybody who's part of the Pauper Guild or who has done a battle box themselves can correct me in the comments section below. But a battle box is decks that are they're popular decks in a given format. But they're maybe geared to deal with each other as far as their own meta goes. So you're going to see meta decks here, such like that. But then their sideboards are geared towards dealing with each other, or at least that's the way I understand it. I'm actually going to, because I have, some fringe decks, some pet decks, meta decks. And I'll just kind of highlight them quickly. But this is going to actually be a series of videos because I have quite a few Pauper decks. And like I said, I'm going to build a smaller Pauper Battle Box that I can take with me to the LGS and run some events, get everybody involved with the Pauper format. Because my play group and the LGS I go to, very interested in Pauper. And I'm basically the Pauper guy as far as my play group goes, but I want to get more people involved. And what I'm going to do here, and what I'm doing involving all of you, all my friends here, is we're going to vote on what decks I'm going to put in my battle box. Now I have many a Pauper deck, some fringe, some pet decks that I've actually brewed myself, some meta decks. Quite a few, but for this this battle box that I'm going to put together, I'm going to put 8 decks, and obviously I have way more than that, but I'm going to have 8 decks that are going to be in there. They're going to have, basically, as far as the way I'm going to run my battle box is it's going to be its own meta. So I'm going to ignore certain things on the ban list. For those of you who have watched my Jeskai Ephemerate video, deck tech for Pauper, you'll notice that Fall from Favor is in there. I'm leaving it in there because I'm going to ignore that ban for Fall from Favor, and that's my own opinion on that ban aside. It's just I'm gearing these decks to deal with themselves. They're going to kind of take a bit of the meta in there, but I'm also gonna, kind of have its own thing going on. So they're basically going to be geared to deal with themselves. So any future bannings, and when I get into these decks here, you'll understand what I mean by that. Because there's one deck in particular that many want gone, and personally, I don't agree with that, but that's my own opinion aside. But anyway, I'm going to stop yakking about it. Like I said, this is interactive, but I've got the first 8 decks, and y'all are going to vote on it, and whichever deck gets the most votes goes into the battle box as guaranteed spots, and then we'll count votes here and there, and we'll just go from there. It seems like that's the way I want to do it, is where most votes gets a guaranteed spot. And then we'll go from tallying votes from here and there. So how you're going to vote is, I'm going to describe each deck here, and this is going to be a series of videos, and you're going to drop a comment in the comment section down below what deck you want to see go in there. And then I'll count them up, and we'll figure it out. And then we'll do another round with some more decks. And then at the end of it, however many rounds, however many decks I have, because I have quite a few Pauper decks, I will showcase the 8 decks that win and that are going in the battle box. So, without further ado, we'll just go over the decks that I have in this first video here. We have Flickertron, which is Pauper's biggest villain. As you can see, Muldrifter, Mnemonic Wall, Stonehorn, all of that stuff. The very, very maligned deck in the format, at least online. MTGO, I'm looking at you, because in paper, this deck does not perform the same way. It's a very powerful control deck, but definitely not as oppressive in paper as it is in it is on Magic Online, Magic the Gathering Online, MTGO. And I'm going to save my opinions on all of that stuff, because this is not the place for it. This is going to be a fun, interactive video. But that was Flickertron. That's deck number 1. Deck number 2. I got this from Big B 4100 or 41,000. Either way, Big B from the Pauper Guild. This is Golgari Woodlurker. This is actually one of my favorite decks right now. It's a absolute house. Has its weaknesses, but all decks have their weaknesses. But this is just a whole lot of fun to play. So, we're going through the cards real quick here. Got all of that together. And this is Golgari Woodlurker. This is deck number 2. So, what you think of that? Deck number 3, and I recently just did a video on this. This is Jeskai Ephemerate. So we go through. You're seeing, we're doing real quick looks at the deck here. I'm not going into it. This is not a deck tech video. This is, we're voting on this. These are all, and you're going to notice Fall from Favor is in here. This is post Fall from Favor ban, but like I said, I'm ignoring that for this battle box. So obviously my decks will, when I play in sanctioned events, I will make modifications, but as far as the battle box goes, I'm ignoring the Fall from Favor ban. I don't think it's oppressive, at least again in paper, because I've tested it in paper and it's not as oppressive as it is on MTGO. Saving my opinions on MTGO, we won't go into that. It's not the place. This here is a blue-white auras deck, and it's very interesting, and I will highlight it in a future deck tech. I got this, I was doing a whole bunch of trades, and got this deck from a buddy of mine, and it's a lot of fun, pretty resilient, very controlling. Not much really else to say about it. It's a pretty controlling deck, but a lot of fun to play. Auras and all of that. So blue-white auras, that's the next deck here that we're voting on. You want to see this in the battle box, drop it in the comments below. And we see, and I'm just, again, going through really quick. Next up, perennial deck in the format, mainstay. Got Burn. So take a look at that. Next deck up, and again, make sure we're voting. As you can see, this is definitely a Burn deck. Definitely a great entry-level deck for the Pauper format. Any format, it's any Eternal format, really. Burn is definitely just a great entry. And this deck here actually can hold its own as a budget legacy deck, at least in my opinion. But that is the next deck that we will vote on for the Pauper Battle Box. Proto Foxy's Pauper Battle Box. Now here we have mono black zombies, as I like to say, zombos. And this is definitely updated from my previous deck tech on this. Definitely a bit more mid-rangey, definitely a bit more dirty burn. You can see recent downshift, Fleshbag Marauder. Definitely has more ways to come out of nowhere and win, as opposed to my original take on the deck, which was more of a Suicide Black, build. But there we go. That is mono black zombies. If you want to see that in the box, drop in the comments below. This here is a brew that I got ideas from online, but I added my own little spins on it. This is Eldrazi Tron in Pauper. Done a couple of videos on this deck, this build. I actually went back to the original build, with the exception of Bonder's Ornament. Basically, you're just this is the original take on what Tron should be doing. That's just ramping out big dumb creatures, and here we're ramping out big dumb aliens that does a whole lot of things. And this is a lot of fun. I love this deck still to this day. And again, Tron lands are pretty maligned in the format. I don't think they need to be banned. That's my own opinion. But this battle box is going to ignore bans and play against itself. And finally, the last deck in this video that we will be voting on is Mono Blue Delver. And again, you'll see as I just kind of go through the cards here that it is going to be ignoring the Fall from Favor ban. This was putting up a whole lot of numbers with Fall from Favor. It actually still is doing incredibly well without Fall from Favor. So, I always said that Mono Blue Delver was a really good deck. It fell out after the initial Blue Monday bans. But it came back with Fall from Favor. Now that Fall from Favor is gone, people realize that this is still an incredibly resilient deck. Still pretty good. Still well positioned in the current Pauper meta. But that's enough of my yakking. That's that for this video. These are the first 8 decks that we will be voting on to go in Proto Foxy's Pauper Battle Box. Again, I want to thank Pauper B and the Pauper Guild for inspiring me to do this. Like I said, Pauper B's Battle Box is going to be massive. Mine's going to be a lot more contained. Just something that I can take to the LGS, run small events, and we're good to go. 8 decks, that means 4 players. No, 8 decks. Duh, I do math goodly. 8 decks, 8 players, a few rounds. Speaking good, right? But anyway, yeah, and it just gets just run some small events and maybe hope to generate some interest. But anyway, that's that. This is the first video in a series of voting for Proto Foxy's Battle Box. Drop your comments in the comment section down below for what you want to see in the Battle Box. This is going to be interactive. This is for you guys. You're going to help me out. You are helping me out. But yeah, that's that. As you can see, sweet Pauper Guild playmat. I'll drop in the description below where you can get that. Get you some sweet Pauper Guild swag. But with all of that said, wash your hands, wear your masks, be safe, be healthy, be kind to your fellow human being, and I will see you in the next video.